Well, the keynote speaker was a lady who had lived under Romanian dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. And like so many people that we've talked to before, she has an important story with warnings to tell us about how it got to that position, what it was like to live there. And like so many of the other people, her warning is that we're headed in that direction with many parallels. Here's what she had to say.
More than 20 years ago, I was exiled from communist Romania to America, the greatest country in the world. I came to America as a political refugee from communist Romania. I had with me 2 daughters, and I was pregnant with my son. I had no money, and I did not know one word in English. After mastering English, I was admitted, and in 3 years, I graduated from SMU Law School with 2 degrees, Juris Doctor and Master of Laws. After that, I established my own law firm. Meanwhile, I raised 3 children as a single mom. I am the American dream, but I should be dead, buried somewhere in an unmarked grave in Romania, according to the dictator Nicolae Ceausescu. The only thing that makes my journey possible, fighting and winning against communists in Romania, is my decision to trust God to help me fight for freedom. If we lose freedom in America, there is no place to escape to. The socialist system is governed by the big government who owns all the means of production, distribution, and determines the good for its people. The socialist system replaces the free market with government control and eradicates private property, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, religious rights, and self-determination as a nation. In the name of promoting fair share, justice, and equality, the socialism turns most of its people into equally poor people. Equality means bringing the country's standard of living to the lowest level possible. Soon after Ceausescu was elected president, he governed Romania with an iron fist, as a despot and as a tyrant. According to him, we, the people of Romania, was his subjects, owned by him, and he wanted to make all the decisions for us. He nationalized big area of our economy. He eliminated the free market economy of Romania and replaced it with his dictatorial communist control. As businesses had to abide the government's new requests, rules, regulations, they started to produce low-quality products that we, the customers, were forced to buy at the price established by the government. He ruined our economy.
Well, I was curious when she talked in her speech about Ceausescu taking away the free market and other freedoms, because I was under the impression that everything just came down like a hammer when the first communist dictators came in. But like Bert from Poland, who, if you remember an interview we had with him a few weeks ago, things didn't happen all at once, just like things are not happening all at once here in America. Now, Bert had told us that in Poland, it took several decades for the communist system to completely suppress and kill all the free market and private businesses that were there. And of course, once those were gone, things got really bad. But here's how Mrs. Prodan described the Romanian takeover.
Of socialist and communist leaders, but he was the worst one. He was the one, the only one who declared himself God, and he was the one who fought against Christians and churches, demolishing churches and putting Christians in jail. About he made the secret police, Securitate, as his personal special forces, and he developed the informants. he was worse than Stalin, worse than Hitler. He killed many people. I am a miracle that I am alive. I believe the reason is that God protected me, and because in Romania being a woman means nothing. And he was shocked, a surprise, that I took him to court and I won cases, and I exposed him to Voice of America, Free Europe.
Well, there's some interesting parallels between this dictator who thought of himself as God and American leaders who think they should control every aspect of our life. Here's what Virginia had to say about that.
He changed our healthcare system for worse into a national healthcare system. Patient-doctor relationship vanished. Patients and doctors lost their freedom. Hospitals were administrated, and medication were rationalized by government to patients. Before socialists came to Romania in power, Romania was a rich country with a free market economy, a good health care and good school system. Bucharest, the capital of Romania, was called Little Paris. But with socialism and Ceausescu's strict control system, very soon Romania experienced a drastic shortage of food, fuel, energy, medicine, and all the other necessities.
Well, it wasn't just a complete takeover of health care. Ceausescu also went after the guns.
Using altruistic purposes, too many kids killed or hurt by guns. The socialist government immediately established gun control in Romania. It created a police system, Securitate, to control and silence everyone, including the media. The Securitate was the dictator's elite special forces, his loyalists, and a very privileged group of people. The dictator's ears and eyes, they were powerful and above the law. The secret police also recruited civilian informants. The youngest informant was 8 years old.
Notice how the monopoly and force went hand in hand with the surveillance state.
I was an attorney in Romania, and I am an attorney in America. Like you, I was born with a hunger for truth and freedom, but I was born in communist Romania, a land of lies and a prison land. Not one with real stone walls, steel bars, and watchtower, but a prison land nevertheless. The stone walls were the cruel and harsh life and treatment from the government. The bars were lies, and the watchtowers were the suspicions, anxiety, secrets, and fears. They were everywhere in Ceausescu's Romania.
Living in that prison planet surveillance state, I asked Ms. Prodan what she thought of the watchtowers, and think about, as she describes it, think about the parallels between our current surveillance state.
He had, like I said, secret police everywhere. I had microphones in my house, in my office. I had secret police outside of my home, 24 hours a day. They had informants, everything. He was able to listen. So we all live in a constant state of anxiety and mistrust, where one could be denounced for anti-government statement by anyone, a neighbor, a classmate, even a family member. For many people, the only way to avoid dictators' punishment, usually jail or death, was to remain silent, to blend in.
And when she talked about taking Ceausescu to court, I was curious if they had laws there that protected any individual rights. On what basis did she win? Now, there's been a Second Amendment speech of a fellow who was at Tiananmen Square and in Massachusetts. And he talked about the fact that in China, they had laws that protected most of the individual rights that are enshrined in the Bill of Rights in America, of course, with the exception of the Second Amendment. But of course, they didn't pay any attention to them. And a similar thing happened in Romania, but listen to how she described it.
not sure if we have everything like in America, but I will give you an example. We have laws in Romania that will protect churches and Christians, but during the interrogation, the laws that I use them against the government, and you hear me saying that I won all of those cases. And the reason is because I use those cases that nobody else in Romania wanted to use or dared to use. And in the interrogation room by secret police, those secret police told me that those laws were in Romania, in the books, so Romania can have or maintain the most favored national status with United States, not for me to use against them. But I was very determined to use, and I told them that going to law school, nobody told me that, and I really believe in those laws, and I'm going to use them, and
So the laws there were just window dressing. Nobody really paid any attention to it. Isn't it very much like what we have with the TSA and with the Department of Homeland Security and with the NDAA? So many places where we have the laws in place, we have very clear constitutional protections of our rights, and the government just chooses to ignore it. But with all this surveillance, Virginia Prodan was not stopped. Listen to what carried her on.
When you stand up and fight for something, it is surprising, it might be surprising for others to hear, but others will follow you. Or if they don't follow you, at least they will support you. So don't think that you are by yourself, because we are never by ourselves. I can tell you stories of unsung heroes in Romania who helped me from Romania and also Americans. Like I said in my speech, fear and faith are contagious. You have to make sure that you don't spread fear around you. Fight with your own fear inside of you. Win, because God is with us and He can eliminate that fear and give us faith and courage. Spread courage around you, and you will be surprised how many people will be encouraged, and you will contaminate them. And one person can change a town, a city, a state, and then United States.
Well, I love what she said. Faith and fear are both contagious. And so it's kind of up to you, isn't it? Are you going to spread faith, or are you going to spread fear? Are you going to encourage those around you, or are you going to be the weak spot that makes everybody else weaker? Well, every day is a day of resistance here at InfoWars, and I hope you will join us in that resistance. I hope you will support our sponsors. And if you're watching on YouTube, I hope that you'll support Prison Planet TV. Buy a subscription there. You can give that out to 10 other people who can be watching it simultaneously. You can actually give it to more people, because it's very unlikely 10 people will be watching it at any given time. You'll also have full access to all the documentaries that Alex Jones has produced. So please consider becoming a Prison Planet subscriber. That's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern with the nightly news.
ProPure is introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. This is the Pro One by ProPure. You wanted it, you got it. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It cuts out the acid derivative of fluoride. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia, and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. This is a revolution against the tyrants. They love putting the toxic acid base of fluoride into your water. They love the fact that it's an adjuvant supercharging the trace Prozac in the water and the hormones and the other chemicals. By cutting out fluoride, you cut out the turbocharger in all the poison being artificially introduced into your body. This is what I use. It's a win-win. You get a high-quality product at the lowest price. You support the InfoWar. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro 1 filter today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.